Ah, the tangled webs we weave.
What's going on, y'all? It's Dawhveed, and I'm back with another Borderlands 3 video. Today's video is actually going to be part 1 of a 2-part series that I'll be doing on my favorite weapons in the game in no particular order. I'll be explaining what the weapon does, where and how to get the weapon, what I like about it and why it's one of my favorites, and also where I use the weapon. Now keep in mind, these are just my personal favorites in the game that I enjoy using. This is by no means a tier list of any sort. Before I kick off my list, today's question is going to be, what is your favorite weapon in the game? Now this can be a gun, grenade, or even a shield. Drop your answers in the comments below and I'll pick my favorite one and feature it at the end of my next video. Alright, so to kick off my list I have the Rowans Call. This might come as no surprise to many of you because it is on the list of many other players as well, but it's for a very good reason. The Rowans Call is a legendary Jacobs assault rifle and it can drop as any element. The red text states the words "uh-oh," which, correct me if I'm wrong, is not a direct reference to anything, but it kinda reminds me of Baby Brent from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. The ability states that critical hits will ricochet 2 bullets to the nearest enemy and return 2 bullets back into your magazine, helping make up for the rather small magazine size with pseudo-infinite ammo. You can find the Rowans Call from any loot source as it is a world drop, but if you're lucky, you can also receive it from Crazy Earl in exchange for farmable lootograms in Sanctuary. Rowans Call made the list because it is an extremely reliable DPS source, provided you have some good accuracy. It might not melt people extremely fast, but it feels really good not having to reload ammo constantly while dealing DPS. It is also great for mobbing because as long as you're dealing crits and refilling your ammo, your bullets are spreading to nearby enemies other than your target, helping you clear them. Also, it just looks extremely cool. The alien gun barrel guns in this game are all just interesting to me, I guess. I use this gun typically for boss killing with Flak's fadeaway ability, or just general mobbing. I have the incendiary version, so flesh enemies, which are the ones with a red health bar, take extra damage from mine. If you're in need of a consistent DPS gun and enjoy the challenge of precise aiming, go grab yourself a Rowans Call. Next on my list is the Brainstormer. The Brainstormer is a legendary Hyperion shotgun that can only drop as a shock element. The red text reads, "Let's put our heads together," which is an idiom for coming up with ideas together or brainstorming, just like the name of the gun. The ability of the Brainstormer is that it will shoot out its projectiles in a lightning bolt pattern with a chance for each pellet to deal shock damage. When the shock damage is applied, it'll chain powerful electricity between enemies. The Brainstormer can be found from any loot source because it is a world drop, although I don't know if this is luck or intended, but I have come across a crap load from farming Graveward. It's one of the more frequent drops that I see. This gun made my list because the shock currents are very cool looking and don't take up too much of my screen like some explosions like the Flacker. The lightning bolt shot pattern is also a very cool touch. This gun has been exceptionally reliable for me when I get swarmed by enemies with shields. I typically use the Brainstormer when I'm up against a lot of Malawan guys because many of them have shield bars, or whenever I want to bust it out to look at some cool lightning chains. I happen to get the redundant prefix for it, meaning the pellet size of mine has doubled, leading to more chain shock damage instances. If you're looking for a good shield stripping gun for bosses or just general mobbing, go grab yourself a Brainstormer. Alright, so the next one on my list holds a special place in my heart because I farmed the heck out of it as I was leveling up and it kept it with me on my original playthrough until I hit level 50 to farm for a better one. So, number 3 on my list is Onepump Chump. The Onepump Chump is a legendary Jacobs shotgun that I believe only drops as a normal bullet gun, meaning no elemental attunement. The red text for the gun reads, "I swear this has never happened before," which, along with the name of the gun, refers to the signature ability of the gun is that when firing, it has a 50% chance to not consume ammo, meaning you'll still have one pump in the chamber that has another 50% chance to not be consumed, and so on. The Onepump Chump can be found as a world drop, but has a much higher chance to drop from the rare enemy One Punch in the Electricity Zone in Promethea. All you need to do is make it here on the map and you'll come across this room. Now when you're here, you'll have a puzzle to solve to have all 5 TVs turned on at the same time. The easiest method I found was by pulling the lever twice and then turning this wheel. Once done, One Punch spawns, who is most definitely a reference to Saitama from the One Punch Man anime, and because of this he'll quite literally just one-shot you if he hits you one time. This gun was an easy choice for my favorites list. I just love the One Punch Man anime, and the comedy of the name plus the red text also make it a super unique gun to keep around for giggles. Although, all jokes aside, this gun is a complete beast in combat. It deals insanely high damage in a single shot, and based on how lucky you get, you can keep up the DPS many times over. The scope that mine came with makes it an incredible long-range weapon as well, outperforming the majority of the snipers that I had picked up. I enjoy using this gun really anywhere, since the non-existent element makes it so that I don't have to worry about an enemy being immune to it, but in mayhem mode, normal bullets do get hit hard quite a lot. I think it has a really good effect on larger mobs since you can one pump them efficiently, whereas on bosses you just have to really luck out to do consistent DPS. If you love anime and want to run around like Bullet Saitama or something, this is most certainly the gun for you, so go have a little talk with One Punch down in Electra City. Alright, so number 4 on my list is actually our first non-legendary gun, and that is the Blister. The Blister is a Torg assault rifle that I believe comes in all rarities except legendary, but correct me if I'm wrong because I've only acquired the blue and the purple versions of it. It can drop in all elemental forms, but the one that I'll be talking about today that's on my list specifically is the shock damage one. The Blister's special ability is that it fires out a constant flamethrower dealing damage according to its element, and increasing its damage for the longer you fire it. The Blister and all variations of it are actually extremely easy to come across since it's not a legendary. You can find it as a world drop pretty much anywhere, but the easiest method is actually just checking the vending machines. I got mine from Crazy Earl on the bottom floor of the sanctuary. As soon as I picked up the Blister on my first playthrough of the game, I fell in love with it. I used it for a super long time, around level 20 until I hit the high level 40s. The flamethrower aspect is super cool and it's very easy to hit your targets, so precise aiming is not really a requirement for it. Depending on the element that you have, it has a multitude of uses. The incendiary version is fantastic for melting flesh enemies, the corrosive element will melt down armored enemies, the cryo version does actually a surprisingly good job at freezing mobs of enemies, the radiation version is good for marking smaller enemies and blowing them up to spread the radiation, and lastly, my favorite, the one that's on my favorite list, is the shock version. It's an absolute monster melting down shielded enemies, taking down the shields almost instantly, allowing you to beat down its exposed health bar. I use the shock version of the Blister mainly as a shield melter and mainly against the Malawan troops or bosses with shields. If you come across the other elemental type blisters, especially the incendiary or cryo ones, don't be too afraid to experiment with them, you just might be surprised with how they perform. And now, rounding off the first part of my favorite Borderlands 3 weapons, number 5 is the Bang Stick. Now the Bang Stick is a Torg shotgun that also is a non-legendary. I believe that it comes in all rarities that are not legendary, but I have only seen it come in green, blue, and purple rarities. I also have yet to see any element drop on Bang Sticks, so as far as I know they only come in normal bullets. The ability of the Bang Stick, just like most Torg guns, is that they can shoot the normal explosion shots, or you can swap to the alternate firing mode and instead shoot sticky bombs that do damage on impact, then explode shortly after for even more damage. Similar to the Blister and all other non-legendaries, you can find them just about anywhere as a drop from enemies, as well as just browsing vending machines for them. I found mine again from Crazy Earl on the Sanctuary. The Bang Stick was actually a recent addition to my favorites list. I had a friend show me how to kill Grave Ward with it, and I have been farming Grave Ward this way ever since. It's super laid back and stress free really. After learning this, I also took it into other boss battles and even mobbing, and I appreciated the gun even more so. There's just something incredibly satisfying with sticking someone with copious amounts of grenades and then just watching their health trickle down little by little as the grenades explode on them. The impact main firing mode to me is actually kinda underwhelming, so I just stay away from it and stick to the much more interesting sticky firing mode. I use the Bang Stick along with Flak's fadeaway ability to stick crit grenades onto my enemies repeatedly, then let them finish them off. This method is useful against any boss really, but I tend to use it for the bosses with a red health bar or with giant critical hit spots. If you're tired of flashy legendary guns or just bored of using poopy guns, then just go find yourself a Bang Stick and watch your enemies explode helplessly before your very eyes. So that about wraps it up for part 1 of my 2-part favorite weapons list. Part 2 will be coming out soon, probably like later this week, along with an honorable mentions list for the weapons that did not make it into my top 10, but that I do enjoy using sometimes. If you like the video, don't forget to give the video a like and to subscribe to the channel, as it really helps me out. Also, don't forget to leave a comment with your answers to the question of the day, or just anything really. I reply to every single comment. So here's the comment that I picked out from the last video. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. See ya!